Welcome to part 2 of systems of equations elimination. Okay, so part 1, we started off with some simpler ones. Part 2, we're going to get a few more steps involved, okay? So let's start off with our first example for part 2. 6x minus 12y equals 24. Negative x minus 6y equals 4, okay? Now when you look here, look at our x's, we have 6x and negative x, negative 12y and negative 6y, okay? So looking right away, nothing cancels out right away, okay? That's our first question we ask ourselves. What can cancel out right away? Nothing, okay? So move on to the next question. Do we have the same thing in each one? Well, no, because we have a 6, negative 1, negative 12, negative 6, okay? So nothing straight down adds up like is the same, okay? So now we have to choose to cancel out our x's or our y's, okay? So let's choose to cancel out our x's. So we have a 6x and a negative x. So what do we need to cancel out? Remember, we need the same number, but one's positive and one's negative. So we already have a positive 6. Well, how can I make, so what cancels out? A positive 6 and negative 6. Well, how do we make this into a negative 6? What can we multiply this part by to get a negative 6? Well, remember, this is going to be a negative 1. So negative 1 times what gets us negative 6? Well, we know negative 1 times 6 equals negative 6, and that's what we need to multiply the whole bottom by. So every one of these numbers gets multiplied by a positive 6, okay? So let's do that. 6 times negative 1x, we said, was negative 6x. 6 times negative 6y is a negative 36y. And 6 times 4 is 24, okay? So now let's go ahead and cancel straight down. Now remember, we already have gotten rid of, we don't need this anymore, okay? We can just go top and bottom, okay? So let's look. 6x and 6x, that cancels straight down. We're gonna blot this out more, okay? We don't need it anymore, okay? Negative 12 and negative 36, when you add those together, you get a negative 48. Why? 24 and 24 added together gets us 48. Now, go ahead. To get y by itself, do our last step. We gotta divide by negative 48 on both sides. And our y equals 48 divided by negative 48, which is a negative 1, okay? So we got x, y, our y is negative 1, okay? So let's plug our y back in to one of our equations to solve for x. Let's go ahead and plug it back in to this top one. So our negative 1, we're gonna go take it back up here, put it back right there, okay? So rewrite your equation. 6x minus 12 times negative 1 equals 24, okay? So let's go ahead, do the math. Negative 12 times negative 1 equals a positive 12. Just brought down our 6x, 24. To get x by itself, we go ahead, move our 12. It's positive, minus 12 here, minus 12 here. That cancels. Bring down our 6x. 24 minus 12 is 12. Last step, divide by 6 on both sides, and x equals 12 divided by 6, which is 2. So our x is 2, and our final answer, 2, negative 1, okay? So, just another little thinking step in there, okay? Let's try a different one. Negative 4x minus 5y equals negative 9. Negative 11x minus 9y equals negative 20. Okay. Now, once again, we look. Negative 4x, negative 11x, negative 5y, negative 9y. Okay. So nothing cancels out right away. Okay. Now, that's our first question we asked. Does something cancel out right away? No. Second question, do we have the same number, either x's or y's? No, we have negative 5, negative 9 for our y's, negative 4, negative 11 for our x's, so no. Next question, third question. Can we multiply either top or bottom by one thing to get the other thing? Well, no. nothing times 4 equals 11. Nothing times 5 equals 9, okay? So what we have to do is have to multiply both top and bottom to make it work, okay? So what do we cancel out? What do you want to cancel out in this problem? Let's go ahead and cancel out. Well, you know what? Let's cancel out our y's, okay? Cancel out our y's. So we have a negative 5y and a negative 9y. Well, what can we do to cancel it out? So the first thing you have to do is multiply those two numbers together. When you multiply negative 5 and 9, you get 45, okay? So 45 is going to be our number we're going to use to cancel out. Now, what do we need to cancel out? We need a positive and a negative of the same number. So if our number is 45, we need a positive 45 and a negative 45. So what are we multiplying the top by? Well, we have a negative 5 up here. We want to get a positive 45. So what do we multiply negative 5 to get positive 45? Multiply by negative 9. Okay? Now we have a negative 9 here. What do we multiply negative 9 by to get a negative 45? Remember, if this is going to be a positive 45, we need a negative 45 here. So negative 9 times what equals a negative 45? Well, we multiply by positive 5. Okay? So let's go ahead and do the math. Let's multiply our top. Negative 9 times negative 4x is positive 36x. Negative 9 times negative 5y is, it says, a positive 45y. And negative 9 times negative 9 is a positive 81. Now let's look at our second one. 5 times negative 11 is negative 55x. 5 times negative 5, we said, is a negative 45y. 5 times negative 20 is a negative 100, okay? Stay with me, ready? Now, we have gotten our y's to cancel out. We have a positive 45 and a negative 45. That's what we wanted. We wanted something of the same thing that was positive and negative to cancel out, adding straight down. That's what we wanted. So, we're done with these ones up here for now. Let's go and cancel out, okay? 36 minus 55. Well, 36 minus 55 is, adding straight down, negative 19. Okay. X. Okay. Our y's cancel out. That's what we wanted. And 81 minus 100 is also negative 19. Okay. See where we're going here? Get our x by itself. We divide by negative 19 here. Divide by negative 19 here. That cancels, and our x equals negative 19 divided by negative 19, which is a positive 1. So our x is 1. Okay, that's what we got. So now we take our x. Go ahead and these are big numbers. So let's plug it into one of our original equations before we multiply it, okay? Let's go ahead and plug it in to the top one. So we have x is 1. Let's take our 1 and let's plug it in right here, okay? So rewrite the equation. Negative 4 instead of x is now 1 minus 5y equals negative 9. Do the math. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Bring down the rest of your problem. Now, two-step equation. What's not attached to the letter? The 4. It's negative, so we have to get rid of it by adding 4 here. Adding 4 here. That cancels. Bring out negative 5y. Negative 9 plus 4 is a negative 5. divide each side by -5, and our y equals 1. So both our x and our y are 1. That is our final answer. Okay? So, I know it's a lot of work. I know it's a lot of steps involved. Okay? But that's how we gotta do this problem, okay? Let's do one more. Okay, one more. -10y equals 8x plus 24. 6x equals -5y plus 2. So, what's our first problem with this problem? Well, you see, we don't have our x's and y's on the same side. We have a y here, but we have x's over here. We have x here, we have y's over here, okay? So, there's no way, so we need to make sure that our x's and y's are on one side of the equal sign, and our numbers without x's or letters are on the other side of the equal sign. So let's get our letters on one side and our numbers on the other side, okay? So let's start with our first one here. Okay, we have our -10y is already by itself. We need to get our 8x over here. So if we were to rewrite this problem, -10y equals 8x plus 24. Okay, how can we get this 8x over here? Well, we move it. Okay, it's positive 8x, so we have to do minus 8x here, minus 8x here. That cancels, and we have negative 8x minus 10y equals 24. Okay, so let's go ahead and rewrite. Let's take this and rewrite this problem. Okay, negative 8x minus 10y equals 24. Okay, now let's do the same thing with this problem. Our x is over here. We need to get our y to join it. It's -5y. Let's do plus 5y here, plus 5y here, and we have 6x plus 5y equals 2. So once again, let's get rid of this, and let's use this one. 6x plus 5y equals 2. Okay. All right. Now our letters are on the same side of the equal sign. Now let's go ahead and solve. So we have negative 8x and 6x here, negative 10y and 5y here. Okay. So what do you want to cancel out? X's or y's? Well, the easier one would be the y's, because if you look, we have a 5y and negative 10y. We know that 5y can be multiplied to get negative 10, right? Or get 10. So all we have to do is multiply one side. Okay. So let's multiply the bottom line. Now, we have a negative 10y up here. What cancels out with a negative 10? Well, a positive 10. So what number times positive 5 gives us a positive 10? Well, a positive 2. Okay, so let's multiply the whole bottom by positive 2. So 2 times 6x is 12x. 2 times 5y is 10y. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so we don't need this problem anymore. We can just get rid of that. Okay, and we're going to use this one. All right, now we look, add straight down. Negative 8x plus 12x gets us a 4x, and please use a calculator if you're not sure of the math and the negatives and positives. Use a calculator, it's okay. Our y's cancel out. Okay, and 24 plus 4 is 28. Okay, now get the x by itself. We divide both sides by 4. That cancels, and x equals 28 divided by 4, which is 7. All right, so our x is 7. Okay, so we know that. Now, pick an equation to plug it back in. Let's plug it back in the top one. Negative 7. Let's go this way. Plug it back in. Negative 8 times 7 minus 10y equals 24. Okay? Do the math. Negative 8 times 7 is negative 56 minus 10y equals 24. Okay? To get our 10y by itself, we have to get rid of this negative 56. So to get rid of a negative 56, we have to add it. 56 here, add 56 here. That cancels. Bring down a negative 10y, and 24 plus 56 equals 80. Last step, divide by negative 10 here, divide by negative 10 here. That cancels, and y equals 80 divided by negative 10, which is negative 8. So our final answer is x is 7, y is negative 8. Okay, so is this a long process? Yes. It can be confusing? Yes. Is it hard? No. It's all the things we've done so far. We've done all of these things so far. It's just kind of putting them all together into one big thing, okay? So just take it step by step. Okay? Don't get overwhelmed. All right, just work the process out. You know how to do all these things, okay? So once you got this, you'll be golden.